Hey everyone, I'm back. I wanted to share a little bit more of just my personal testimony and my journey of what it meant to become a follower of Christ. As I mentioned, I kind of went to church my whole life. I grew up in the church, I learned about Jesus, and I actually made a commitment when I was 14 to commit my life to Christ. And then a funny thing happened. So that year, the church I was going to had a big split. There was a lot of fighting over money and power, and I was like, "Whoa, this is kind of weird." Like, I thought these people said they followed Jesus. Why are they acting like this? It didn't really make sense to me. And so we moved churches to a different church, but that church had a lot of the same issues. So I was like, "Whoa, this Christian thing's kind of weird." A lot of these Christians don't really act like they follow Jesus. They seem kind of hypocritical. And so, at that point in time, I decided that I didn't really want to be a Christian. I didn't really want to follow Jesus if this is what Christians were like. So I stopped going to church for about 3 years, really believing in Jesus. And then I went to university. And when I went to university, one day I was eating lunch and someone came up to me and said, "Hey, can I share about Jesus with you?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm good. Like, I know about Jesus. I learned about him and I'm not that interested." So he's like, "Hey, like, let me at least give you this small booklet. You can keep it." And I was like, "All right, dude, whatever." So took the booklet, put it in my backpack, and that was that. I went to church maybe 10 times my first year, so not very much. When I went back to university for my second year, my mom was like, "Hey, I know you haven't been going to church. I really want you to go to church." And so I was like, "Okay, fine, mom. Like, for you, I'll start going again." So I go to church my first week, and I get this feeling inside my heart that says, like, "Hey, there's more to life than what you're doing right now." And I was like, "That's weird. Why am I feeling this?" Just like must be my mind playing tricks. So I ignore it. And then the second week, I go to church. The same thing happens. I was like, "Oh, it's kind of weird, kind of weird." So I told God, I was like, I prayed, "Hey, if this is real, like if this is really what you're telling me, like show me something." And so that week, I found the booklet that the person gave to me from last year. So it spent an entire year in my backpack just sitting there. And then I just found it when I was getting my calculator. So I was like, "Whoa, okay, God, like, interesting. This is weird." And so I emailed the guy who gave me the booklet. I was like, "Hey, funny story. I think I might be interested in checking out the ministry that you were in." And so he emails me back, and I joined that ministry. And there I really understood and learned what it meant to follow Jesus, what it meant to read the Bible every day, what it meant to pray every day, what it meant to try to be more Christ like and follow Jesus. And I also understood that you don't have to be perfect, right? Like the people that were making the mistakes in these churches, we're not saved by our actions. And yes, we are called as Christians to act in a way that is pleasing to the Lord and is a witness to those around us. But ultimately, we're not saved by our actions. We're saved, in Ephesians 2:8-9, it says we're saved by grace through faith, right? We're not saved because we act super holy or do all these crazy things. We're saved by the grace of God. And so I understood that um, the church is made up of imperfect people. They're going to be people that make mistakes, and they're going to sin, and it's human nature. Like, we are sinful beings, but ultimately, you know, Christ made that sacrifice on the cross for us so that we could be saved. And then once you do have saving faith, then you are called to bear fruit, um, and be faithful and be a good witness, while understanding that, like, even if we are faithful witnesses, we'll never be perfect, and that's okay. And so hopefully my story is a little bit of encouragement for you all as um, you are learning what it means to follow Christ in your own lives.